Okay, is the closed caption working? Looks like it should be. It's working okay. Working okay. Guess that's all we need to worry about today is making sure that we've got an okay working. So I'm just getting everything set up. Making sure the chat is working. Or at least to the best of my ability, making sure the chat is working. And we're going to go and do what needs to get done. Okay. There's that. I've got my phone. I've got my camera. I don't know why the camera's spinning that way. Sorry about that, guys. My live journal is open. Perfect. Let's see if I can test audio. For some reason, I can't hear it, which I don't understand. So I'll try to do my best to make sure that I can look at it and then make sure that it pops up. Let me try one other thing real fast to see if I can get it to get the audio to play. Why are you doing this? Okay. Let's do one more quick test to see if that solves the issue. I don't know if it's going to. Okay, it kind of did. And it looks like we're good. Looks like we are good. Okay, cool. Awesome. Just what I wanted. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to episode 290. I think it's 291. So, beautiful day on the farm. It's actually gonna storm, so we're gonna peek up and look at the storm, but I can hear thunder in the distance, so me and Lisa are trying to get everything done before the storm comes. But it's also 2:30. It's the time that we usually feed everyone, so we try to stay consistent with that. No, I don't always stream at this time, but we're trying to stay consistent. But let's peek up at the sky, because let's talk about that first. So, gray sky, hear some thunder. It really is that feeling. It's definitely feeling like it's gonna storm outside. So we'll do this live stream until the storm comes. There's a trash duck. He's called trash duck because he hangs out by the trash. So today, on today's episode, we are going to talk about some of the permaculture values. We're going to talk a little bit about observation and what observation means and how you can take observation and you can advance it through. So good example is we're peeking over here at the bees. So there are actually less bees hanging outside than there were. So one of two things happened. They either swarmed or they started filling up their extra box. I added it. Until I get in there, I don't know. But with observation, we can take educated guesses. I'm going to show you the next thing. So this was another fun experiment. I got these cheap little tents and I decided I was going to see what they were like. So I put some peppers in here and the peppers are actually doing really, really well. So on observation, thought this would be a good spot. Let's see how well the peppers did. And surprisingly, the peppers did extremely well, which is good to know. So we do that with chickens. We see how the chickens are acting. We see how they're feeling, all that kind of stuff. And we make decisions from that particular point. I'm going to start filling up the water, Lisa, because it is thundering outside.
Can you take 2?
I can take 2.
Take all you want. Take 2.
I can take 2. This is...
I have so much left. Hold on. One more second.
One. So usually it wouldn't be in that big of a hurry, but like, I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder that's going on behind us, but it is thundering outside. The wind is starting to pick up. And so we would like to get all of this done before the storm kicks in. It would be a lot better for us to get everything in before the storm kicks in. But, okay. But we don't melt. We're not made of sugar and spice and everything nice, so we don't have to necessarily worry about melting.
It's such a disappointment. No, we didn't know.
Where's the lid to that? Got it. Okay, so let's spin this back around so you guys can see what I see, because it's probably more exciting to see what I see. So also with the storm coming, it's another good practice for observation. This is what's good about practicing observation when the storm's coming, is you get immediate results. So it's not like you have to wait like 6 months, a year, a couple months. You get immediate results. So you can peek up, get in the habit of looking at the sky, knowing what the sky's doing, knowing how it feels, feeling the pressure outside, looking at what the sky does, and being able to, the more you spend time outside doing this, the better you actually get at localizing, predicting weather. So I think some of you might know the track where you can flip, where you watch the leaves start flipping. And when you see the leaves start flipping, you know that that means that the pressure's changing and that there's a good chance that it's going to rain. I'll put you guys right here. I need to take down some of these plants at the particular moment. My spots started, plants started trying to take over one of my spots that I put cameras. How ridiculous. How ridiculous. It's been a really interesting summer. As someone who spends a lot of time looking at weather and keeping track of weather, I actually just updated my weather book, because I've been keeping a weather book here. I probably have, I don't have 20 years of weather book, but I have maybe 15. I do have 20 years of weather data. I just don't have it all in a book. So I don't have day-to-day. I don't have day-to-day weather for 20 years, but I do have month-to-month for 20 years. 21, actually. And so, but I just updated it, and we've only had one day in the 90s this year. Even though it's been felt like a really hot year, and it's just felt like a crazy year. We've only had one day in the 90s. So weather hasn't really changed that drastically. The precipitation has been a little different. Hail's been, it's a little bit more hail this year than in past years. But in general, it actually has been a pretty of abnormal years. It's been a pretty common of the abnormal years. I know that sounds weird to some people. Common of the abnormal years, because in 20 years you're going to have a couple. You're going to have a couple outliers. You're going to have a couple more of the abnormal years. And this year has been pretty consistent, pretty normal for the abnormals. It's still not 2012. 2012 was literally the craziest year that I've ever seen. I would say not only just here, but probably the craziest year I've ever seen in my life, because we had the Del Richo here. We had crazy weather. We had crazy hot. And then we also, that winter, leading into that winter, that fall was some of the most snow I've seen ever in a fall here. So we've still not lived up to that one. But it's been an interesting. We did have drought a little earlier, but the drought's not really sticking around now, because we should be going into our driest part of the year. And that is absolutely not happening. So that's absolutely not happening. So it was a really dry spring and a warm, wet summer. I can't even say hot, a warm, wet summer. Now, that did affect, because of that, it did affect my fruit trees. So in the future, I need to think about, on years that we have this, we're going to have to do some future planning so that when we do have a year like this, and I'm not going to have any fruit, how to plant other stuff that will counteract the loss of the fruit. So again, this is why you do with the observation, and the observation links to documentation, and the documentation then links to you having active ways to react to when you have outliers. Because there's going to be outliers every year. There's going to be outliers. Not every year, but every so long there's going to be outliers. And you need to know how to deal with those outliers. This year did not do well dealing with the outliers. Plants seem to grow well. A lot of native plants did extremely well this year. I absolutely have to say. Not sure if you can hear that, but it's very, very thundery. So I am going to put you guys right here for just a second. I need to, it's not going to sit. I need to move a couple things before the storm rolls in. That is over here. That's kind of a trash pile that I've been rearranging because I don't want it to fill up. Okay, that's fine. Because like this kind of stuff, I don't want it to keep filling up. So I need to move things to where they fit in a little bit better. And so this all piled right here is not actually, it's not also a net benefit. So we can really feel the wind is starting to change and starting to get cooler. We should, let's go in just a second. Let's go over and observe the bees, because the bees will help us if they're out. They might have already been smart enough and might have came in, but the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go do a quick little observation of the bees, and they might give us some better examples, some better explanation is what the word I'm looking for here. Some better explanation of what is occurring. I'm staying a little quiet because I was hoping there was going to be another good thunder, because if the sky was feeling like it was going to thunder again, but I don't. I think it is just acting. I think it is it's just going to be a really hit and miss. I'm probably not going to be able to predict when the next thunder is going to be. Thunder and lightning. But yeah, wind is changing. Can really feel it. Let me see if I can spin it around so you guys can actually see. Stay in here for just a second. So you can see there's just a gentle breeze, but you can also see it started getting a lot stiller. So minus the flag by the house is just still gently waving. The direction this is coming is it feels like it's coming over the mountain. I don't believe that this will miss us. Now, the mountain does. The mountain has many, many, many times. The mountain has actually broken up storms and stopped them from coming into our area. By the way, guys, this is the corn. It is already 6 feet tall, which is awesome. This is the Aztec corn, already well above my head. My friend Howard gave me that corn last year to plant and do some experiments this year. So very excited to do those experiments and see how well. All I really need is all I'm hoping for is I don't even need a whole lot. I just need like one good year so that I can replant it next year, because I have some different places that I'd like to try it next year. And I have no idea if Howard got around to growing it before he passed. It would be very interesting. It's something I would like to know. I probably will never know that answer, but it would be interesting. But yeah, Incan or Aztec corn is what that is called. I have it in a controlled lot right now with a lot of chicken poop. I'll try to give it its best growing possibility. So I think I planted 30 kernels, and of the 30 kernels, 8 came up, and of the 8, 7 of them are very good. Let me show you guys. This is a fun angle right here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it from this, but if you can, it's kind of fun. I like this angle because you can see the weather station right there and the weather station on top of my house. And so it's kind of the 2 weather stations that I use to triangulate, or at least to get 2. I need to get a third to triangulate, but those are the 2 weather stations I have. They're definitely different altitudes. I use them to try to get an average of what's happening here, so that if one is too high, you can get a good understanding of what's going on between the 2 of them. And so I get a more natural, real weather profile, let's call it. So we got Lisa, her next one. Yeah, so there's kind of a good way to see the corn tucked away in here. And then inside the corn, we have a bunch of stuff growing inside, but mostly tomatoes. Tomatoes have really taken over. There is some tobacco in there. There's a lot of peppers in there, and some peas and a loofah. I had one loofah, didn't know what else to do with it, so I stuck it in there, into the little experimental garden. And some of you might remember that experimental garden is where the rabbits were for the last 2 years. So that's why it's very good dirt for them. So let's see, what other parts of observation in the permaculture thing? So one of the things that we can do is observation is you can start seeing how your chickens and such are acting. If you start noticing that they're losing their feathers, or you start noticing that they're extra stressed and they're not laying eggs, or they're not eating as much, those are good signs to be able to see if something is going on. So maybe they're being stressed because the food that you bought is crappy food. So we observed that a couple years ago when we were buying food from Rural King, and that was when Rural King had a recall on some of their food, and so we kind of got a little heads up because some of our chickens stopped laying. They just weren't as happy. So it is part of the reason why I no longer get food from Rural King. Not even saying that, maybe by now they fixed the issue, but because of that, I ended up we went and focused back on our local guy, and I got a good relationship with him. And so I pretty much solely buy food from him now. So we have a good relationship. I prefer dealing with I prefer dealing with smaller companies anyway, smaller local stuff. It keeps that mindset that I want to have, that permaculture, you know, keep your communities functioning, you know, earth care, people care, fair share. It kind of all incorporates all of that together. So plus having a local business and having someone local, I know he's going to have what I need. If I'm genuinely concerned, I can call him up, or worst case scenario, if something crazy happens, I know I can count on him to be able to make sure that I have what I need. So it's very nice. All in all, very nice. A good relationship to have with him. So, but that was an observation that I got from the chickens. And so after that observation, I told some of my friends around that also had chickens that got stuff at Rural King, and they also told me very similar stories. So before it ever hit the news or anything like that, the chickens told me what was going on. Other thing is, there's certain stuff I've tried to grow down here, and it's just not done well. And so I've moved it around, tried to see why it wasn't doing well, seeing if it was attacked by pests. It was not. If it was soil, it was not. And so a couple years of observation of having plants just says, you know what, that's just not something I'm going to grow. I'm going to grow down here. And then, of course, I highly suggest documenting all the times you do this kind of stuff, so that you know what does well. So you don't want to forget, because there are times that I didn't document stuff and I totally forget where we put things, or why stuff did well or why stuff didn't do well. Here's 3 more, Lisa. Are you going to need any more? Okay. We had an extra, in that one trash can when I cleaned it out, we had an extra one in there, so I just grabbed it so we could use it. So.
Hey, what does that thing say? Like, did you turn it on or what?
What?
The noise maker.
It doesn't make noise, it only flashes lights.
Okay.
And it's just supposed to flash lights when things move in front of it.
Okay.
Over there on Kick, you at least could have followed me before you're just gonna spam, but it's fine. So let's go turn this off. Let's go walk out to the just-in-time garden, just-in-time victory garden. By the way, guys, this big crazy area right here, it's where my kitchen and medicine garden is going to be put. I think what I'm hearing is the water that I need to turn off, but I'm starting to hear some sprinkles in the air, which means that the rain is coming. It is approaching. It'll be here rather soon. Again, guys, if you have any questions about anything I'm doing or you want to know stuff, feel free. I am going to start with live streaming and the way everything treats live streaming. I'm going to be starting my permaculture series where I will be just doing probably 5 to 15 minute videos where we're going to talk about different permaculture lessons, the way I do Appalachian permaculture. So I will be posting them up on my Rumble and my YouTube page. If you're not following me on Rumble or YouTube, on Rumble it's X Dr. Firefly, and on YouTube it's X Dr. Firefly Mavis. So those are my Rumble and YouTube, where you'll be able to see my videos. And some of them will be converted to shorts, so the place that you can find your favorite shorts, you'll be able to do those as well. But again, they're probably going to be between 5 to 15 minutes, depending on how complicated the series is. But just want to give you guys another perspective on the size. So here it is up here. When you go down here, it just gets bigger. And it's just, love this corn so far. So much fun to grow. But you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 corns. Let's peek over here at the bees. So far, none of these guys are leaving. Oh, those guys just, I think they're, yeah, they just came flying around me, wanted to see what's going on. They're interested on what's going on over there. Let's see what's going on here. Won't see as many drones. Maybe it was a lot of the drones that left the other day. And then down here is the, calling the mint hive. Actually, I want to turn that upside down. And that's apple mint. That's what's growing all around there, apple mint. Since we're sitting here, let me show you how well my jalapenos are doing. So we've got this plant right here. Should probably take that one. It's starting to get damaged, but we've got some nice jalapenos growing in here. Let that get a little bit bigger before I take it. And we've got plenty of more coming, so I'm very excited. Now, I planted 4 in here and only 2 did well, but over here in my habanero, it's doing very well. But since I can feel the rain, I want to do a quick little walkout in the just-in-time garden. And so we are going to meander out that way before the rain really kicks in. Up here till down the Sylvia path. Down here, down the Sylvia path. I'm gonna peek over and see how. Got some, I'm trying to see where my pawpaw is. So here's a little pawpaw. And there's a little pawpaw over there. Both of them started from seeds. This seems like this is a good spot for pawpaws. So I'm probably going to put some more pawpaws back in this area in the future. But this is where I have pawpaws, sunchokes, and ramps. That is my Appalachian micro garden. So it do look like we have a little bit of rain out here in the field. It's interesting, at different parts of the yard, it can be raining or not raining, depending on a variety of things. But we're gonna make it all the way out here, and then we'll head back to the house. More exciting to go through like at this level. So there's one of my spiral gardens. We'll finish that one in the fall. Ran out of time this year. I still could do it. It's just with all of the biology, it's going to be a little bit harder to do. So my dad's, this is one of my dad's garden plots. It's doing well. The squash that's doing up there, that's the squash area. here up here in the victory garden. I've already pulled the garlic, so that was what was in these two beds, and I'm preparing these two beds for garlic in the near future. My grapes are living right here. I need to come in and chop and drop that. That grapevine's not doing as well as the other ones are, unfortunately. And then up here is the spiral garden, which need to spend some more time, really get this looking well. But this is probably one of the most amazing. This is the squash we didn't plant. I just started putting compost up here, and the squash just started growing like crazy up here. So just lovely, lovely squash growing up here. And in the fall, we're going to be doing a lot more work up here, getting this to be a lot more functional. This was a step I wanted to see, minimal amounts of maintenance up here. I wanted to see how it worked. Didn't work out as well as I was hoping. Actually, we need to go down to the elderberries. So we're going to head down that way to go down to the elderberries, because I need to go see how some stuff is going on in our elderberry patches. I need to see if they're ready to harvest, or if I need to give them a couple more days, or if the birds have came and decided to eat all of my elderberries, because that is a distinct possibility as well. I need to put you guys down for just a second. I need to tie my shoe. Okay. Little bunny. I'll zoom in. Little bunny. A little bunny. So you can see it's still a little foggy. You can see that tower, but you can barely see the towers. You can barely see the towers over there. So. It's interesting. I wonder why he turned around there. I mean, that's cool because it makes it easier for me to pick the So this is an elderberry, a nice little elderberry patch right here. Those elderberries are not quite ready yet. I'm glad he did that. So. Ouch. Got a thorn in my shoe again. Really good at getting thorns in my shoes. Looks like some rain is starting to form over that way. It's sprinkling a little bit right now. So, a little bit of sprinkles. Nothing too crazy yet. So we're gonna walk down here, check out the elderberries. Probably in the next day or 3, we'll be ready to pick these elderberries. So So elderberries, really close. Not quite yet, but really, really close. So I don't know if you guys can see, but you can see it's kind of a little hazy right there. It's raining a little bit more over there than it is where I'm at. It's still raining a little bit. I'm still getting some sprinkles on my face, but nothing quite like that's happening on the mountain just yet. It will work its way down here. So anyways, friends, thanks for coming with me on this get our chores done and our little walk that we do after we finish the chores. I know I just got water, but Lisa was pretty much finished up with most of the stuff, so she got what she needed to get done. So it's just kind of what this is. You kind of just follow me on my chores, a little casual, fun little adventure around. So I've been doing this. This is, like I said, I think this is episode 291. I started this on December 3rd of 2019. And we maybe have done a few more episodes than that, but that's the number of episodes that I know for sure I have picked, that I have saved. There's a handful of episodes that got lost to the ether that for some reason didn't get saved or stuff. But in general, try to have something to talk about today. We talked about observation, talked about looking over and making sure you understood what's going on in your property. And, all these episodes, we kind of just talk, and then I kind of just give you a little tour. You're just kind of hanging out, looking to see what's happening. It's more just a stop by, a little checkup of what's going on. A little yearly. Every year you can see how things change. But I'm going to be trying to make sure I do this every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday now. So shows will range between a half an hour to an hour, depending on how intense the chores need to be, what other important things are happening or not happening. There's Fernando. He wants to come over and say hi. Right, Fernando, you want to come say hi? Yeah. Good little Fernando. Yep. So, anyways, friends, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining if you're watching this later. Hope you have a wonderful day. Anyways, remember, guys, live slowly, love deeply, and fear nothing. Right, Fernando? He says fear absolutely nothing. Anyways, friends, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Fernando says he agrees. See you guys tomorrow. It's Doc. Adios.